The cell was cold, silent, deep under the ground of a forgotten planet. The alien sat in the corner, his back to the wall. He didn't move much. He didn't sleep. His yellow eyes stared at nothing, just stone and shadows. Guards had stopped asking him questions weeks ago. They called him the war beast. But now he was quiet, always quiet. Until one day, a young soldier brought food. The soldier was curious. He had heard the stories about what the prisoner had seen, about what broke his mind. The soldier placed the food down and asked, "What happened out there?" The alien didn't look at him. The soldier stepped closer. Was it really that bad? Were the humans monsters like they say? For a long time, there was only silence. Then the prisoner moved. Just a little. His voice cracked like dry bones. "They weren't monsters," he said. The soldier's eyes widened. They were something else. He had been young once, strong, trained for war, part of a proud fleet. His orders were simple. Fly to a system called Sol. A planet named Earth had sent strange signals. The Council didn't like it. They feared something new. They always feared new things. So they sent ships. Big ones, fast ones, full of weapons, full of pride. The alien sat in the pilot seat of his warcraft, looking at Earth through his visor. Blue, green, quiet. It didn't look dangerous, he laughed back then. "One clean strike," his commander said, "and they'll kneel." But Earth didn't kneel. The first sign of trouble was silence. No welcome, no fear, no messages. Then the first ship in the front vanished. No explosion, no alarm, just gone. The second ship tried to scan. It died mid-sentence. No distress call, no debris. The alien looked around. His screens flickered. A soft noise played. In his headset, it wasn't words. It was music. Calm. Human music. And then, light. A bright flash behind him. He turned. Half the fleet was fire. His commander shouted commands, but the systems were slow. Then something hit his ship. But it didn't feel like a missile. It felt like the ship itself was pushed by fear. He crashed on the surface. Trees. Dirt. Cold rain. No cities in sight. He crawled out of the wreck. His leg was broken. His gun gone. For hours, nothing happened. Then he heard footsteps. Not machines, not tanks. Boots. Just boots. He hid behind a tree, watching. It was a human. Alone. Holding nothing but a small device in his hand. The alien wanted to attack. But something stopped him. The human didn't speak. He just looked, eyes full of silence. The human walked past, didn't even raise his hand, as if he knew who the real predator was. Back in the cell, the soldier leaned closer. What did he do? That human? The prisoner's eyes glowed faintly in the dark. "He didn't need to do anything," he said. "That's the worst part." The soldier frowned. "I don't get it." "You will," the alien said, "if they ever come again." He looked up. His face was old, scarred, but his voice was steady now. "I saw their machines. I saw their eyes. I saw what they do when pushed." The soldier swallowed. "But we're the ones who push them." "Yes," the prisoner whispered, "and they haven't even begun to push back." He was taken off Earth days later, captured by his own retreating army. They called him broken, coward, useless. But he wasn't broken. He was changed. He tried to tell them what he saw, what he felt. They laughed. They said Earth was a dead world, easy target, nothing to fear. But he remembered. The silence before destruction. The face of a human who didn't even need to fight. The music that played while ships died. Now, in this cell, he waits. Not for rescue, not for escape. He waits because he knows something. The humans are still watching, and one day when they move again, it won't be war. It will be judgment. The sky was beautiful, blue, calm, open. It was the last beautiful thing the alien fleet ever saw. They had arrived with 50 warships, each one armed with weapons powerful enough to destroy a moon. They were trained, proud, and ready for an easy victory. The alien soldier remembered the view from his ship. Earth was quiet. No defense signals, no energy barriers, just clouds and water. Too quiet. His commander laughed. Look at them, still using satellites and ground towers. They're nothing. But that silence, it wasn't fear. It was something else. A trap. On the second day in orbit, they sent drones to scan Earth's surface. Most vanished. Some returned, damaged, confused, filled with strange readings. Then, the sky changed. It didn't turn red from heat. It turned red from reflection. Something huge was above them. At first, no one saw it. Not on sensors, not on radar. But then, shadows moved across the stars. The soldier ran to the viewing deck. What he saw made his legs shake. Ships. Human ships. But these were not like any others. They didn't glow. They didn't send warnings. They didn't even have markings. They just sat there, watching, waiting, like hunters who had been patient for too long. The alien commander gave the order. Fire first. Show no fear. They did. The alien fleet launched everything. Missiles, lasers, dark matter pulses. It looked like a sun exploded. But none of the human ships were hit. Not one. Because they were no longer there. They didn't vanish. They moved so fast that light could barely catch them. In the blink of an eye, one of the alien ships disappeared. No explosion, no scream, no pieces, just gone. Then another, and another. Panic spread. Orders flew. But no one could tell where the enemy was. They were surrounded by nothing. Then from deep space, a sound played. It wasn't a warning, it was a voice, a human voice. You were warned. That's all it said. And then, the real attack began. The sky lit up in strange colors. The alien soldier watched as two ships beside his were crushed like paper by weapons no one could see. No lasers, no heat, just on destruction. Systems failed, lights died, crew members screamed. It wasn't war, it was erasure. The alien's ship lost power. He floated in orbit, helpless. He looked up again, searching for the human fleet. He saw them, one ship, hovering above his own, massive and silent. It looked like it had no engines, no weapons, only smooth black metal, with ancient scars. It didn't attack. It simply stared. Then it vanished, not through speed, but as if it had never existed at all. In the prison cell, the alien prisoner paused his story. The young soldier was pale now. He had dropped the food tray without noticing. They never fired first, the prisoner said. They gave us a chance to leave. Why didn't you? The soldier asked, voice shaking. Because we were stupid, the prisoner replied. They didn't want a war. But we gave them one. The prisoner closed his eyes. He still remembered the screams through the comms. Officers begging for help. Engines overloading. Ships colliding. Not because humans attacked them all at once, but because the humans made them afraid and fear. Kills faster than weapons. Back on that day, the alien soldier's ship fell from the sky. Burning. Broken. But he survived, only to see what waited on the surface. As the cell fell silent, the guard finally spoke. What do you think they are? The prisoner opened his eyes. Not gods, he said. Not monsters. He leaned closer to the bars. They are what the galaxy becomes, when it bleeds for too long and remembers who made it bleed. The alien opened his eyes again. This time he didn't speak right away. He just stared at the wall. The young soldier said nothing. He waited. After a long silence, the prisoner said, Orbit was only the beginning. The soldier leaned closer. They sent us down to finish the job, the prisoner continued, to show strength. to control the ground. He paused. But the ground didn't belong to us anymore. The escape pod had crashed hard. Metal torn, systems fried. The alien soldier woke up on cold mud, his leg bleeding. He looked up. The sky was dark. Clouds moved fast. Wind howled through broken trees. Something felt wrong. Too quiet. No signal from orbit. No contact from command. Just his own breath and the soft beep of his broken scanner. He was trained for battle. For fire, screams, and explosions. But there were no battles here. There were hunts. He walked through the ruins of a small human town. Everything looked untouched. No bodies, no blood. Not even resistance, but he knew someone was watching. His team had sent 12 soldiers to this area. He was the only one still walking. It started with shadows. Quick ones, too fast for his eyes, but not fast enough to avoid the sound. Soft steps, behind him. A whisper. A breath. Then a scream. Not his. Another soldier gone. He turned, fired his weapon. Nothing there. Only a red mark on the wall, and a helmet on the floor. Still warm. They didn't fight in the open, the prisoner said, in the cell. They never had to. The guard's hand tightened on the tray. The prisoner continued. They moved like ghosts, faster than sound. They didn't speak. They didn't yell. Just quiet, until they were inside your armor. At one point, the soldier found an old human building, small, dark, maybe a school. He stepped inside, and then the doors shut behind him. His weapon jammed. The air turned cold. Footsteps came from upstairs. He pointed his useless weapon up, and there they were. 2 human fighters, just standing. No armor, no big guns, only black suits. Light on their feet. One of them nodded. The other disappeared. He fired again, screaming. The lights exploded. In the dark, he felt hands grab his wrist, twist it. Then, nothing. He woke up later. Alone. Alive. His weapon gone. His armor cut open, but his body untouched. They let him live. The prisoner looked up. That's what made it worse, he said. They didn't kill me. The guard frowned. But you said, I know what I said. But listen, it wasn't a mistake. They could have ended me, but they didn't. He leaned forward. They wanted me to go back and tell you. The guard swallowed. Tell us what? The alien's voice dropped. That they are not like us. That when they fight, they don't want to win. He leaned even closer. They want to be remembered. The prisoner stared into the darkness of his cell. Before the war, I thought humans were weak. I thought they were soft, emotional, slow. He shook his head. But on the ground, I saw something I had never seen before. The guard whispered, What? Restraint. The prisoner's voice cracked. That's what scared me the most. They could have turned us to ash, could have made us scream for mercy. But they didn't. He looked at the ceiling now. They watched us, followed us, studied us, like they were learning how to break something more important than the body. The guard took a shaky breath. You think they'll come again? They never left, the prisoner whispered. They're already here. The alien prisoner sat in silence for a long time. The young soldier thought the story was over. He reached for the tray. But then, the alien whispered, You think war ends when the guns stop? The soldier paused. No, the prisoner said, his voice sharper now. That's when the real fear begins. The escape from the ground was a blur. The alien didn't remember how he got off Earth. He remembered smoke, blood, broken trees. Static in his ears, he remembered crawling into a rescue pod, eyes half blind, heart numb. And then, sleep. When he woke up, he expected to see his own kind. But instead, he saw white walls, quiet halls, clean air, no chains, no guards, only one. Thing told him where he was. A small flag, blue, white, red stripes, Earth. I was captured, the alien said in the cell, and I was sure they would tear me apart. The soldier frowned. But they didn't? No, the prisoner said. They gave me water. He had prepared himself for pain, for questions, for torture. But the humans did none of that. A man brought food every day, no words, no weapons. A woman gave him blankets, even adjusted the lights for his eyes. One day, a small child stood outside his room, no fear in his eyes. Only curiosity. He waved and smiled. The alien didn't understand. He was the enemy, a killer. But here, they treated him like a guest. At first, I thought it was a trick, the prisoner said. I didn't eat, didn't speak. I waited for poison. The soldier leaned forward. And then, I got tired of waiting. Weeks passed. One day, the alien asked for a book. He didn't think they'd give him one. But the next morning, it was there. Simple stories, human stories. Some about war, some about love, some about people who had nothing, and still gave everything. He read them again and again. He didn't know why. Maybe he was trying to understand what kind of species would spare someone like him. Maybe he was hoping they'd stop, because their mercy was worse than their weapons. They broke me, the prisoner said, but not with pain. The soldier looked confused. How then? The alien turned his eyes toward him. By showing me I didn't deserve kindness, and giving it anyway. One night, the alien couldn't sleep. He walked to the door. It wasn't locked. He stepped into the hall. Alarms didn't sound. No soldiers appeared. He kept walking. At the end of the corridor, he saw a garden, real plants, real soil. A human stood there, hands in the dirt. The alien stepped closer. The human didn't look up. Just said, "If you're going to run, do it before breakfast. I don't like cold food." The prisoner laughed, a dry, painful sound. "I stayed," he said. "Not because I had to, but because I needed to know." He paused. "Why they let me live?" Later, he asked the human in the garden, "Why am I here?" The human didn't look up. "You came to destroy us," the human said, "but we chose to show you what we protect." "Mercy?" the alien asked. The human smiled. "No. Ourselves." In the cell, the prisoner fell silent. The soldier stared at him. "I thought you feared them because they were strong," he said. "Do?" the alien replied. "But that's not the reason." "Then what?" The prisoner's eyes were glassy now. "I fear them because they have something we don't," he said slowly. "Not power, not ships, not weapons." He leaned in. "They have the choice to kill, and choose not to." The guard didn't speak, because he suddenly understood the most terrifying thing of all. The humans were not merciful because they were weak. They were merciful because they didn't need to be. And that meant if the day came they stopped showing it, nothing in the galaxy would survive. The prisoner sat still. His voice was low now, almost quiet. The guard leaned in, heart racing. They opened the door. The alien said, "No weapons, no guards. Just a hallway." The guard frowned. "They let you go?" The prisoner nodded. But that was the trap. It was morning, cold and silent. The alien had been awake all night, waiting for the humans to come take him for questioning. But instead, his door slid open with a soft hiss. He looked out. No one there. He stepped into the hallway. Still no one. No alarms. No shouting. No chains. Just the sound of his own breathing. He moved slowly, expecting a trap. Turned one corner. Then another. Still nothing. Then voices. Two human scientists talking near a door. They saw him. One nodded politely. "You're up early." Then they walked away. Just like that. "They didn't care," the prisoner said. "They knew I wouldn't do anything." The soldier stared. "Why?" "Because they broke me," the prisoner replied. "Not with pain. Not with fear, with freedom. The alien walked through the halls of the human base. It wasn't a prison. It was something stranger. It had gardens, small libraries, even a room filled with music and light. Other prisoners walked there, some from other species, some human. He asked one of them, "Why are we here?" The other simply said, "Because they want us to see something." He kept walking. Then he saw a door slightly open. Inside was a room with stars painted on the ceiling. A place for human children. And in the middle of the room, a child. Alone. Sitting. On the floor playing with small metal blocks. The alien froze. What was a child doing here? He stepped inside quietly. The child looked up, smiled. "Are you lost?" he asked. The alien said nothing. "Don't worry," the child said. "You're safe here." Safe? He had come to destroy Earth. His fleet had burned the skies. And here, a child was comforting him? "I should have run," the prisoner whispered in the cell. The guard said nothing. "I should have escaped," he continued, "taken their kindness and left. But I didn't." The alien sat in the room with the child. They talked. About the stars, about ships, about life. The child asked, "Why are your eyes yellow?" The alien said, "Because I see things differently." The child laughed. "That's okay. I see things differently too." Time passed. And then the alarms finally sounded. Red lights flashed. Not because the alien escaped, but because his own people were coming. They broke through the human shields. The prisoner said, "Not many. Just a few ships. They wanted to retrieve me. Said I had secrets." The guard leaned closer. "Did you go?" "No," the prisoner replied. "I ran." He ran through the base, not to escape, not to leave, but to find the child. He found the boy in the hallway, confused, crying. The alien picked him up, took him to the garden. They sat under the trees while the sirens screamed. Human soldiers rushed past. Some looked at the alien, but none stopped him. None tried to take the boy. They just let him be. Later, when it was over, a human soldier came to him. "We stopped them," he said. "Your people won't try again." The alien nodded. "I know." The prisoner in the cell closed. His eyes. "I walked out of that base the next day. Free?" "Yes. But I was not the same." The guard whispered, "What did they do to you?" The alien looked up. "They made me believe that peace was more dangerous than war." He smiled sadly. "Because peace changes you. And if enough enemies are changed, the war ends." The guard didn't understand at first. But he would soon, because signals were coming in. Ships were vanishing again. Not in flames, but in silence. He stood before them, scarred and changed. The alien prisoner, now free, was brought into the great court of the Empire. High walls of black stone, rows of war leaders, eyes filled with pride. They had waited for him, the survivor. The only one to return from the human front. They thought he brought victory. They were wrong. "I told them everything," the alien said from the prison cell. The young guard leaned in, eyes locked on him. "I told them what I saw, what I felt, what I feared." The prisoner's voice dropped lower. And they laughed. The memory returned. The warlord sat on high seats, watching him like an insect. He spoke of human silence, human speed, human mercy. He spoke of the child who smiled at him. The ship that vanished without a trace, the base with no locks. He said, "They let me live so I could warn you." A general chuckled. "Warn us of what? Kindness?" Another leader stood. "You speak of stories, not strategy. Emotions, not facts." The prisoner shook his head. "They don't fight like us. They think differently. You can't win against something that's already finished the war in their minds." "Finished?" the Emperor asked, narrowing his eyes. The prisoner nodded. "They let us strike first. Because they were waiting. Waiting for what? The prisoner answered without blinking. For us to believe we had a chance. The courtroom echoed with laughter, whispers of madness. They called him soft, weak, broken. You were captured and brainwashed, they said. You let fear control your truth. He turned to them. No, he said. Fear opened my eyes. The next day he was dismissed, stripped of rank, branded a coward, sent to exile. But before they took him away, one young tactician followed him. Didn't speak much, only asked one thing. Are they truly that dangerous? The prisoner didn't answer right away. Then he whispered, not because of their ships, not because of their weapons. He looked up at the stars, but because they do not chase victory. They chase memory. The guard inside the prison cell swallowed hard. And they still didn't believe you? The prisoner looked at him with tired eyes. No, but they will. He turned his head slightly. They always do. Right before the sky goes dark, months passed after his exile. He watched the skies from a cold, forgotten world. He tried to warn others, broadcast messages, tell the truth. No one answered. Until one day, a whisper reached the void, a broken signal, distorted, static-filled. But one word came through, help. He tried to trace it. He recognized the frequency, one of the Empire's outer colonies. He sent a reply, but no one answered. So he searched the star charts. And then he saw it. 7 colonies. Gone. Not destroyed. Not burning, just silent, like someone had turned off the stars. They're not attacking, he told the guard. Not yet. The guard stepped back. Then what are they doing? The prisoner slowly stood. They're watching. They're testing. He took a deep breath. They're choosing who deserves to remember them. The prison lights flickered. Somewhere, above, a warning beacon blinked red. Not loud, just a soft blink. The guard stared up. What's happening? He asked. The prisoner smiled for the first time. Now, they will believe me. On the edge of the system, something decloaked. It wasn't large, not glowing, just one black human ship. Still. Silent. Waiting. The Empire scrambled ships toward it. The ship didn't move, didn't respond, just hovered, like a final question, a test, a message. In the cell, the prisoner whispered the last words of his speech to the court. I once feared death, he said, but now I fear something greater. The guard asked, what? The prisoner's eyes gleamed. That. Humans haven't even started yet. The cell was shaking now, not from an explosion, not from battle, but from something deeper. A feeling. The young guard stared at the red light blinking above the door. One slow blink. Then another. The warning signal had no sound. Because some threats didn't need to be loud. He turned back to the prisoner. The alien stood still, eyes locked on the wall as if he could see through it, through the planet itself. They're here, aren't they? The guard asked. The prisoner didn't answer. Right away then, a small nod. Yes. In space, above the prison world, the black human ship remained. No weapons out. No shields up, just floating. Watching, Empire warships circled it, shouted warnings, charged weapons. The black ship stayed silent. Then, one signal came from it. Just one. A single number. 1. In the command centers, officers panicked. They searched. The meaning. Looked through human code, human language, but the prisoner knew. He whispered it under his breath in the cell. This is your first test. The guard backed away. You said they were peaceful. They are, the prisoner said. Then why are they here? The alien turned slowly. Because peace is a gift. One they gave long ago. He paused, and we threw it away. The guards' hands trembled. But you said they showed you mercy. The prisoner's voice dropped. That's why I fear them. The guard blinked. You fear them because they were kind? Yes, the prisoner replied. Because I learned something no one in the Empire understands. He stepped closer to the bars. When a species has the power to destroy stars, and chooses not to, that is not weakness. He leaned in closer, voice like cold wind. That is control. The blinking light turned solid red. Above the planet, the black ship finally moved. Not fast, not slow. Just forward, effortless, like gravity followed it. A warship from the Empire fired first, one clean shot, direct hit, but the human ship didn't even blink. The blast was absorbed into its hull like water into stone. Then, without sound, the Empire ship simply vanished. No fire, no noise, just gone. The prison shook again. The lights turned blue, not for alarm, but for surrender. Systems had been taken over. From where? No one knew. The prisoner smiled slightly. "They're not invading," he said. "They're reminding you." "Reminding us of what?" the guard whispered. The alien looked up at the ceiling. "That they asked for peace once." He paused. "And this is them asking one last time." More ships appeared, not from hyperspace, not from wormholes. They just appeared, like they had always been there, hidden, sleeping, now awake. The sky was no longer stars. It was human warships, thousands of them, but they didn't fire. They didn't speak. They only sent one message: do not make us choose. The guard was frozen. "What do we do?" The prisoner looked at him with ancient eyes. "You listen." "To what?" The alien smiled. "To silence." Then, everything stopped. No lights, no sounds, no data. Every screen across the planet turned black. For 12 whole minutes there was nothing. Then, one screen lit up, one image, a photo, of Earth. Blue, green, cloudy, peaceful, and under it, 3 words: "We remember everything." The human fleet vanished. No attack, no damage, no death, just a message, a shadow across the galaxy, a warning. Back in the cell, the guard whispered, "They didn't destroy us." "No," the prisoner said. "They gave us a choice." The guard stared at him. "Why are you still afraid then if they left?" The alien leaned back into the dark. "Because I saw mercy in their eyes." He closed his eyes. "And I don't ever want to see what's behind it."